Live in five, four, three, two. We're live.
Good morning, Owasso. This is the Twins with Owasso Live, and this is the Morning Loop. I am back from my cruise trip vacation, so I'm trying to get back into the swing of things after being in the Bahamas for a week. So it's gonna be a little bit of adjustment. I'm trying to get caught back up to Oklahoma time, which is easier than it should be because it's they're an hour earlier over there than it is here, so it's not too bad getting adjusted. But it's cold. It's cold here. It was never below 70 on the ship or in the Bahamas or Miami. So that's the kind of the culture shock coming back here. So with that being said, it is currently 32 degrees outside at the moment. We have a high of 50 today, so it's definitely light jacket weather. So make sure you have your light jacket and you
I
are.
do have the News Channel 6 feed up in the screen,
Oh,
just for the
perfect.
record.
Okay, yeah. So if you want to check out News Channel 6 and see what the accurate, I'm just looking at my phone, of course, but again, so it is chilly out this morning. Not super windy, so there's no wind chill factor. So if you could probably wear a light shirt or jacket and you'd be fine. Probably could shed it by the end of the day if there's no wind. Now, the high being 50, traffic conditions going into Tulsa are pretty fair right now. Like there's no real traffic congestion or issues at the moment. I don't know if, I guess it could technically be spring breaks right now, so maybe that's what's going on. There's a lot of people on vacation right now,
I
and
think it is spring break.
well, yeah, I mean, it was spring break while I was on the cruise. I knew that for sure because there's tons of college kids running around keeping me up late at night, running around the cruise ship like crazy people. But I guess it could be a spring break for here in Owasso, so I don't know. But that being said, there's no real traffic issues going in Tulsa. There seems to be more traffic coming back from Tulsa than there is going to. So keep that in mind. And maybe everybody's out on vacation or like me, just getting back. So now, local upcoming events in the Owasso area. Chad, what do we got going on this week?
We've got a bunch of stuff going on today. Give me 1 second and I'll pull up that information real quick. I'll go ahead and transition to the me of the small screen and get the big screen stuff pulled up. But first things first, we'll start with Owassoisms today, I guess. And what do we got today with Owassoisms? Let me full screen this real quick. Sorry for the hang up. There we go. All right. Well, March 23rd, which we are on the 18th, so this is this week. But I'm showing we've got another fundraiser for Baja Jacks, and this one's for Studio C Dance Company,
You
and
see.
that's at 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. on March 23rd. And
Okay.
that's at and that is at Baja Jacks,
Baja Jack's Burrito Shack,
which
folks.
is up there on the Smith Market.
Mm-hmm.
And then next we have the grand opening party, excuse me, of Code Wiz Owasso. So
Code
that will be
Wiz
happening.
Owasso. What is Code Wiz Owasso?
Pretty sure it's a coding company here in
Okay.
Owasso,
Code.
teaching.
Oh, Code Wiz.
Yeah, I think
Like
they remember. I think that's the people that came to try to look at our building over here not too long ago.
that's right. That's right. They were looking for
Mm-hmm.
space and they came over
Really
here and we were
bad.
all
Yep.
fulled up.
And that's really about it for this week. But on the 30th, another fundraiser for Baja Jacks again. I don't see what it's for. Oh, I said pet rescue fundraiser. And
Man,
then over
Baja
here,
Jacks be
the
crushing the.
community Easter egg hunt will be on the 30th. And then Discovery Church also has an Easter egg hunt on the 31st.
Nice.
And then after that, we get into April. So we won't go that far. But that's all the stuff on the Owassoisms page.
Awesome.
Then we'll pull up the chamber. Let's see here. Chamber events. We have, let me see the calendar. On the chamber side of things, this week, there's only just an ambassador meeting on the 21st, and then same thing as Owassoisms, the grand opening party of
Code
Code
Wiz.
Wiz.
Okay.
And that's
Fantastic.
it until next week. So that's all I've got on that. Bringing up the Owasso High School athletics schedule. We are on the 18th today. The baseball JV Red is away at Santa Fe Catholic. And then the varsity is also away at Santa Fe Catholic, except the games, of course, are different times. The JV will play at 3:30, and the varsity will be playing at 6:30 this week.
Let this basketball.
And this is baseball.
Oh, baseball.
Basketball's done. They did their championship.
Oh, that's right. They're state champs.
Yep.
That's right.
Then March 19th, baseball again, JV Red and varsity at Central Point Academy. And it's pretty much just all baseball. If I just keep going, like every day this week, it's all baseball until like the 22nd. We got some girls varsity soccer, Southern Cup, Coast Cup, and they will be away.
Okay.
So that's about it for sports. The Rejoice one, I don't want to pull up the Rejoice one. We've already spent a lot of time for right now. But if you want to check the Rejoice schedule, I've got their website here, up right here. You have to go into each sport individually. I wish that if I could, I don't want to just go into each one, but if you want to check out the Rejoice one, here's their page. Check them out. Absolutely. I guarantee you they've got a bunch of stuff going on as well.
Sure.
And that's really about it for our local stuff. I need to start checking on the college games again. What I need to do. But next I've got is the Thunder. The Thunder actually played the Grizzlies on Saturday, and they beat them. Now, just barely. It was 118 to 112, but I mean that's a win, still a win.
The W is a W,
and that puts us in a 2-win streak, and we are still at the top of the standings in the Western Conference as of right now. But we're still neck and neck with the Nuggets. We are pretty much like right on par with our win ratio. They only have one extra loss under their belt, but we're ranked. We're pretty much neck and neck, so there's nothing between us and the Nuggets right now.
So it's going to be a dogfight. All right.
And that's about it when it comes to like our local events. Like I said, other than I need to start checking up on all of our favorite college teams around the area, the TU, OU, and OSU at least.
Yeah, for sure. Well, all right. Good deal. Now, let's move on to more national news, but it's less national news and just more kind of cultural news, I suppose, today, because like I'm getting back. I'm getting caught up on a lot of new stuff. The only thing I did was kind of watch the show when I was doing exercising on the boat or the cruise ship while I was away. It's just kind of keeping up. Chad was the only thing keeping me up to date because I don't have as much time to dedicate to watching news when I'm enjoying my vacation on a cruise ship. So, Chad just kind of brought me up to date on some culture stuff that was going on. So I guess Kate Gate is a thing. And for those of you that aren't aware of what Kate Gate is, so y'all know it's not Prince Harry, it's the other one, right? What's the other one's name? Or is it Prince? No, Harry's the one that married Markle, right? Meghan Markle.
I can't tell. I don't. Course,
the one that's not exiled.
Said, if you're a true American, we stopped giving a crap what the crown thought in 1776.
That's right. So basically, when I was in college, all the girls were just like fawning over Kate, the girl that married the prince that's still the next in line for the throne. And they were like, oh my gosh, storybook wedding, how amazing. This is just, I mean, she's a princess. How cool. Like, it's a Disney fairy tale. Like, all the girls in college were just talking about blowing that up. And, you know, guys, we couldn't care less, you know. Basically, one of my friends put it this way. It's crass, but, you know, then they celebrated the birth of their first child, you know, and there was a picture of the prince smiling, and it said, my male appendage, my dangly bits work. Celebrate, peasants. And that's it was just a funny picture and a funny caption. Great meme. But apparently Kate's been missing for about 3 months. Like, and that's might not be strange. Maybe she just wanted to be away from the public life for a little bit and have a way. There are a lot of theories going on. Like someone's like maybe she went and got plastic surgery and there was a bot surgery and
she had some type of like stomach surgery or something.
And
that's why she's been away.
She wanted to be out
that's
of the
what was
limelight.
said anyway.
Now the conspiracies are since there's been no pictures released of her. A lot of people are basically saying she's dead. She's died, and the crown's keeping it covered up because they want to feign that they still have this perfect happy marriage.
This is their way of trying to take back the colonies, or they're showing revenge, taking back the colonies. They bring in these poor American women and make them
marry them, and then they murder them in secret. So that's what's going on right now. A lot of conspiracies are being flooded throughout the internet that has died or is dead, and the crown had her murdered, and because they released photos of her, the crown or the official.
I have the photo.
Pull them up, and they're photoshopped. And they're clearly photoshopped pictures too, because they're the same pictures that came off like a Time or Life some magazine.
Faces, anyway.
The faces, everything. They photoshopped hats or took a hat off of her and did her hair. So we live in a post-truth kind of society, or like we live in a world where we can't trust the images we're seeing because of Google AI images. Like they can make things so real that you wouldn't be able to know unless some alleged expert comes in and says, "Hey, this is Photoshop or doctored, or this is an AI image," which is truly terrifying. Now, the fact that the Crown just won't release a picture or an image of her. Now, I get, from a personal perspective, I get it. Like they're trying to hide her privacy, but with the rumors going, I mean, even that that really bad comedian John Oliver was making jokes about this. If it's like this conspiracy has gotten up, or it's been going on for about 3 months, and it's gotten up to the mainstream. Like the Crown needs to put this one to bed and just release a photo of Kate to get this image out of the cultural zeitgeist. But I mean, maybe they just like the publicity. I don't know.
I think they just like the publicity.
So it's just wild. I think maybe they're looking at it as just, oh, this is fun. We get to be a part of this, silly little conspiracy theory. So it's not really relevant. It doesn't matter. I doubt she's dead. She's probably just enjoying her privacy. So it's good for her. I mean, going and getting surgery is never a fun thing, and you don't want to have to deal with or answer questions to the vultures that are the public press. So, with that being said, though, moving into you can't trust these doctored images, it kind of goes into if we need experts to delineate whether or not images are real or not, and then how this is going to affect court cases. Again, if you go to the Kyle Rittenhouse case, the prosecution was going to zoom in on a picture. And if you don't realize this, but when you zoom in on a picture, the phone or whatever you're using, an iPad or whatnot, will generate pixels assuming what's there in the picture frame. Now, what you're zooming in on isn't necessarily, like, those pixels aren't real. That's adding to the picture to make the image. That's what the computer thinks would be there in the image when you zoom in. So anytime you zoom in on a picture, you're not actually getting the actual picture. You're getting pixelated AI images, essentially, to show what the computer or the image corrector thinks is there. Now, I know I'm doing a very poor job of explaining this to you, but I'm trying to give you the best layman's version of this. But this is what happened in the Rittenhouse trial. The defense was saying you cannot zoom in on a picture because it creates algorithms that assume what's in that picture. So it could put something or show something that's there that's not actually there. And the judge allowed it. Now, from here on out, we're going to have to worry about people coming in and giving images. Again, like right after that Rittenhouse trial, I was freaking out because Google Images has ways to. So if like, photobombing is a huge thing for years.
Yeah.
And now you can just click on a picture of a person and remove them from your image. AI will erase a person you don't want in that image. So technology's come a very long way. So basically, murderers could get out scot-free being like, look, there's a picture. And then somebody could edit it and be like, no, he was never there. And then you have to have these experts come in and say, oh, no, this image was doctored, or this image was fake. It's manufactured. Somebody removed something out of this picture. But then you can have another, let's say, less scrupulous person come in and say, oh, no, this is a normal, regular image. This is an original. And then we'll be relying on the words of experts, or you'll have to rely on whether or not people can manipulate AI to remove, or they can, Photoshop when a picture was taken. So this is truly scary stuff we're living. It's a scary world we're living in now, where basically AI, we can't delineate between what's a real image and what isn't, or what's AI generated, what's a pixel generated by an AI when you're zooming in, or an algorithm.
And not to mention those voice algorithms that we were talking about earlier today, too, where you can literally pull up any person that at least has enough speaking lines on the internet, like Joe Rogan or any of your favorite actors.
Yeah.
And literally
prank call somebody
as that person. You can literally type what exactly you want them to say, and they will speak it. And it sounds just like them. I mean, over the phone or over kind of like a grainy phone service or whatever, you could easily fool somebody.
Yes, so we live in a scarily post-truth world now where reality is what AI can make of it. Scary stuff. So be advised, we can't always trust everything we see or hear now.
100%.
It's terrifying. Terrifying reality we're living in now, folks. So make sure you fact check, double check, and maybe not even fact check the fact checkers. Because
it's even what I said last week while you were away is like, wait like 2 days to a week before you even start like talking about something, because there's no way to know what's true until the dust has finally settled in a lot of these cases.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, but the problem is people are too quick. They want to weaponize that outrage while they can. Don't be the person that the media weaponizes you. Don't be that person that weaponizes that outrage. Like we all saw this with that Next Benedict stuff. A bunch of people coming out making ignorant statements about what they thought was reality and couldn't have been further from the truth.
Mm-hmm. I mean, still to this day, I still see people saying
that the Biden administration was putting bad stuff out. You were talking about it last week.
They were very vague, but the way that it was worded made it sound like...
Yeah, it was vague enough to where there was just enough truth in it to where it was true, but enough mischaracterizations to where...
It didn't explicitly say that she was killed by being beaten in the bathroom, but it was vague enough to where it's basically sounded like that's the reason it happened, or that's how it happened. And you're like, man, this is dangerous. But I was just talking about just like regular like people on like Instagram and other social media sites still spreading misinformation. I mean, I'm still seeing stuff about she was beaten to death in a bathroom.
Yeah, I get on Reddit, and Reddit is a toxic cesspool of lies and manipulations. There's people just going, we can't believe the police autopsy. They're just, the police in Owasso are liars, and it's like, what do they have to gain from lying? They'd get more tax dollars by arresting these girls that would have allegedly murdered her.
Yeah. Well, even getting back to that was, it's like, what do you think? Everyone's like, the school covered up. The school didn't cover it up. The school was like, do we really want to put like this on these how many ever kids were involved? Permanent record. We're trying to protect these kids so that way they can still get into college and not
have a police report follow them around forever. Because it wasn't the person who was going to get the police report wasn't the girls who were bullying her or allegedly bullying her. It was next for initiating the assault.
Yep. But that's really about it. Is like I said, it's with everything going on with all this new apps and social media, AI and soundboards and stuff like that. It's so weird that we're living in this era where misinformation will literally be a thing where you can literally change the way situation is. People could literally go back into the footage of the security footage from the Owasso thing and change how it looks.
Yeah, I mean, it's a wag the dog situation. Like, I'm not sure the Ukraine war is real at this point. It could be a wag the dog thing where it's a media-generated war where you have Hollywood production people going in and... Because I haven't seen any footage from Ukraine in a long time. And the only footage I've seen from during military training is like people just dropping drones on a drone, dropping like poison bombs or bombs on individual soldiers by themselves. I'm like, what kind of soldier in the right... We have a battle buddy system in the military. A battle buddy system. You're never going alone anywhere. So when I see these videos of these drones dropping bombs on lone soldiers walking around in trenches, I'm like, I'm not sure I believe this is real. Where's his battle buddy? And they're like, oh, not all militaries have battle buddies. Like, why wouldn't they? Why would you be alone somewhere where if you died, no one would know? So it's just weird. Yeah, again, Wag the Dog. Wag the Dog is a movie. It's a Hollywood movie, and it's basically about how the president was involved in some sex scandal like during the Bill Clinton era, but it's not Bill Clinton, obviously, but was involved in a sex scandal, and to avoid his public image being destroyed, they created a fake war in the media to protect the
president's image.
Mm-hmm.
Or to pull the media attention off the president and onto this issue.
So that's what I think is happening with the Ukraine stuff. So... And again, I think a lot of the images from Palestine, I think a lot of that is doctored and faked stuff as well. Yeah. So with that being said, while we were speaking on the trans issue, we're going to move into another cultural thing. We're talking about Gamergate 2.0. We'll try to keep it relatively quick because we're going about 20 minutes now. But Gamergate 2.0. Lots of controversy still surrounding this whole, what was it, Sweet Baby Inc. So now the Daily Wire has kind of put their foot in their mouths with some of their opinions. So Matt Walsh, who I like Matt Walsh. I like the Daily Wire. But they've kind of stepped in it on this take. Matt Walsh put out a take that said, video games are dumb and you shouldn't play them and it's a waste of time. And he is correct, in a sense. Now but here's what doesn't make sense. The Daily Wire did exactly what they're supposed to do. Like Ben Shapiro and the founder, I can't think of the founder's name of the Daily Wire, the God King.
Jeremy
Boring. So Jeremy Boring, they created the Daily Wire to be the counterculture to the mainstream media in Hollywood. They're making movies. They're putting out culture. They're creating kids shows. So there's Matt, and they're all backing Matt Walsh, and they're blocking all these people who are gamers and stuff, kind of call them out and going, you don't know what you're talking about. Now, I can agree with some of the sense of what he says. Like, again, video games can be a huge waste of time, for sure. But then again, so can watching a movie. So can reading a empty fiction book. So can going to a bar and drinking. It can be a huge waste of time. Mm-hmm. However, it's just odd. The Daily Wire is the counterculture movement. They're creating culture for conservatives and people who are sick of the left-wing ideologies crammed in everything in Hollywood film. But I guess they just don't want to take a stab at video games. Like, they're too lazy to just put their nose in that, and they're just going to back Matt Walsh on this. Yeah, video games are dumb, and but politics is downstream from culture. Andrew Breitbart said that. Ben Shapiro understands that. All the people that work at the Daily Wire understand that. But they just don't want to take the plunge into games are just as much culture as any other medium out there right now. And in fact, again, it was the gamers for the original Gamergate that called out the journalists in bed with gaming companies and individuals who were creating, independent games getting 5-star reviews. It was these people calling them out. Like, these people are on your side and you're dumping on them for no reason other than like, oh, games are dumb. And again, Matt doesn't really understand the whole culture around video games, doesn't understand the culture of the gaming community. He's just speaking on it and acting like he's got this greater understanding of this movement he's really never had any part of. Mm-hmm. So again, it's like what I talked about in my video about the Army. It's foot and mouth syndrome. Matt Walsh really put his foot in his mouth this time, and I can agree with him saying, yes, video games can be a huge waste of time. But again, video games are culture. And if you don't participate, like you don't win the culture war by not participating in it. You have to put out competing culture. So the Daily Wire should attempt to invest some of their money, if they're doing as well as we think they are, into creating gaming companies and investing in games and creating games with no woke ideology in them. That would be a great thing for them to do.
100%.
So I don't know what they're doing there. I mean, that's a very dumb thing for them to back Matt Walsh on. They should just be like, look, take the L on that, bro. Like, it's not a big deal. And again, he's not 100% wrong either. Like, look, video games are a waste of time, in my opinion. Cool.
2 degrees.
But the culture war is still going to be fighting in the video game space.
And I'm pulling up stuff, but getting back to what you were saying is like, if it's a waste of time, isn't watching a movie a waste of time?
Yes.
Isn't reading a book a waste of time? Mm-hmm. At least a book for, pleasure or whatever. If you're just reading like something that, doesn't have any study value.
Yeah. So don't surrender the space. Fight for it. And the Daily Wire, if they have as much money as I think they do, they should dump some funds into get some developers, get some game developers, and create their own little game developing company. Put out a couple of crappy little indie games and then try to go big. Compete in the space. I mean, the original Halo was created by an independent company, And then Bungie and 343 bottom up. Bungie was just a nothing studio for the original Halo. Now, moving on to what the crux stuff I was wanting to get to, a game that I used to play pretty religiously called Dead by Daylight. And Dead by Daylight is a horror game where you have to, like, it's a competitive horror survivor horror game where one person plays as a killer, and there's a ton of killers in this game. Now, it started off with like 3 killers, and then you had like 4 survivors. Now there's a crap ton of survivors too. And what they've been doing is they haven't changed really. They add a map or two every now and then, but it was like 3 maps, 4 survivors, and 3 killers. But like I said, you pick one. So one person plays as a killer, and he's trying to kill all the survivors. And then you have 4 survivors who are trying to escape from the map. Now, what the survivors do is they go run around and they have to start these generators. They have to start 4 generators in order to get out. And then they have to go and open a gate. And the killer, obviously, is just trying to stop them from doing that. So, it's a very competitive game. And it's a very toxic game. Like, it is... Dead by Daylight is full of the most toxic... It's the most toxic gaming community I've ever played with. I've met some great, awesome people in it, but I've met some of the worst people in the world in there too. And it's the kind of people who will send you paragraph-long text messages, to your Xbox screen inbox or to your PS4 inbox. Or, I mean, like I said, again, if you're typing on a computer, it's obviously much faster to be able to just type crap to people from a computer screen. However, just the worst community possible. And it is just the worst people in the world I've met can be in this game. But again, I've met some pretty wonderful people too. But the developers, they're a very woke company too. Like, they're super pro LGBTQ, and they haven't really done a whole lot to, other than dropping in new characters and occasional map. They don't really add anything of value to the game other than try to fix bugs and glitches and use your hacks that survivors figure out how to use and dominate killers with. But they added a new character. And the controversy around this new character is they hired a trans woman. So it's a dude who thinks he's a chick. And he voiced the character. And the character hadn't really been finished or finalized yet. But the character
it pulled up on the screen
is
here.
called
It
the
is
Unknown.
glorious.
Yeah, it's called the Unknown. And basically the trans person, after he got done voicing, goes, they made it off of me, and it's a ugly amorphous blob that it looks like what you would expect a trans person to look like.
That's pretty hard.
That's harsh, but yeah. But no, so the guy took it personally, like it was they based it off of him, and I don't think that's the case. I think they just wanted to create a really like creepy looking killer, and you make a. And all the killers, and I mean, all the monsters in the game are horrifying to look at. Like, all of them, except for a handful, which are really lame. Like, the ones that look, the more normal they look, the lamer they are.
There's a bunch of rip-offs from, like, there's one that looks like Jason Voorhees.
Yes,
it's
yeah,
not
the Trapper.
Jason Voorhees. Mm-hmm. But the funny part is they actually bring in...
Yeah, they have a lot of
movie...
Freddy Krueger's in the game. Michael Myers, The Shape. You have... Leatherface or the Cannibal, Bubba. You have a lot, and like I said, there's another character in the game called the Hillbilly, who is another chainsaw wielder, and he was basically he was based off of the Cannibal from, or, Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and then they brought Texas Chainsaw Massacre Cannibal in as a playable character because they pay for the copyright for these characters, and they put them in, and they charge money for these movie characters to play. Even the Demogorgon, Stranger Things characters in there, like Steve, Harrington, Nancy. So there's a lot, and they have a licensing through a lot of Japanese games too. So there's a lot of killers. But anyway, so this trans killers got in, and they thought they were. And again, Dead by Daylight, it's a very woke company. It's a very woke studio. There's a lot of weirdos in there's a lot of weirdos in the Dead by Daylight community. There's a lot of odd people that play the game, and if you read the developers' notes and the stuff, the notes they put out to the community, they say, I live off of the gay fan art of Dwight and other characters being, shipping gay characters together, which shipping means you put 2 characters that aren't really supposed to be together. So the people who developed this game are involved in the Dead by Daylight community. They're, like I said, again, even the developers are weird and strange. So they weren't attacking the trans community. They were just trying to create a character, and they hired a trans person to voice it because they thought they were being inclusive and nice. And guess what? You can't appease woke people. You can never win with woke people. because eventually they're just going to say, you were attacking me. It's like, no, we thought we were being inclusive. So that's what happens. And again, the trans person, it's not like this character has speaking roles. Like, they just make noises. Like, the killers don't talk, they make noises. It's like, it's raw, noises like that. Just creepy background noise that the killers make while they're moving around and stuff. So there's no like, hey, my name's Jeff. Like, they don't do that. So it's just so dumb, man. Like that they would come after.
I think that would be a better game. I'm coming to get you.
My name's Jeff. I'm going to get you. It's just so silly. But again, you can't win. So don't appease these people. You can't ever win. You can't ever make them happy. And now all these people who are developers of the company are probably heartbroken because they feel like they've really hurt this actor that they paid to come and voice this character's feelings. I guarantee you that's the way they all feel, because I've read their developers' notes and stuff, and again, an odd group of people that work and develop this game that are still involved with this game. And again, it's a fun game, but again, it's just they're not offering anything unique or new. That's just why it's kind of dead, and it's full of hackers and cheaters now. But again, that's all modern games now, because the PC has ruined gaming because you can just download hacks and cheats and assists.
Console for life.
Yeah, console. There were still cheaters on consoles, but it was significantly more difficult to
cheat on a console than it is on a PC.
Yeah. So, and there are probably people out there going, they don't know what they're talking about. I can cheat on console easier or something like that. But it just, if you have to cheat to play the game, then obviously you're not very good at the game. So that's my 2 cents. With that being said, don't try to appease the LGBTQ mafia. Don't try to appease the alphabet mafia or the trans community, because nothing you do, they will find a way to take offense to anything, even if you're on their team. So just make your game, do your thing, and don't worry about it. So that's about all we've got for today. Kind of keeping it light, and we ran a little long, but like I said, we just had some fun stuff culture-wise we wanted to talk about. So I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Take care. God bless. Drive safe. This is the Twins with Owasso Live, and we are signing off. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Later.